If you haven't seen the video, A Little Sun, A Little Life, then I would suggest you see that really simple video, but it also sheds a lot of light. We're going to show you now a lot of water gives you a lot of life. And all it takes is just a little bit of dehydration to either the plants or to us, and we do the same thing as the plants. We wilt, and we find out that that's not the way we want to be. Remember, we are liquiditarians. We drink liquids to stay healthy. Let's go to the plants. The plants are also liquiditarians. They really don't eat that much food except for the minerals, the sunlight, and the water. And you can see tap water, of course, is not good for these plants because tap water has chemicals in them. If you put chemicals on plants, they just don't grow well. And it's the same way with us. If we put chemicals inside our bodies, because remember, water is a transfer module. It's a transfer medium. So if you have water, I made blue-green algae. You can see this beautiful fluorescent blue. It's actually indigo, and it's got a violet tone when you put it down here like this. So what we're really showing is that a base of water, as long as it has minerals, as long as you get the sunlight, and as long as you get the needs, the plant grows well. We, on the other hand, I use based water, water that I basically make myself. I make a really high potency water that's clean, stripped out, all the sodium fluoride. I take every bit of contaminant as much as we can out, and I realkalize the water with a little bit of alkaline minerals. Then I use that water as a base to be able to make my fluids that I put in my body, and or I drink that fluid directly and maybe do a few other things, but that's my base. So this is an experiment I'm going to show you. It's very simple, and remember, put this idea towards you. You are a liquiditarian. If you want to get healthy, just like the plants, you have a plant-based diet, this is well known, and you drink liquids like a plant. The plant-based diet, the reason being is because most people are super denutrified or they're demineralized. And if you're demineralized, that means that your body doesn't have minerals in it. But I take vitamins every day. That doesn't matter. Remember, the plant can take rocks and turn them into vitamins and minerals that we can eat because the plant does something that we can't do. It changes the mineral into a usable form. And I say that again, usable. Because if it's not usable, then why are you putting rocks in your diet? So when you go to these stores and you see all this stuff, I'd be very leery. If it's not plant-based, I wouldn't touch it because all you're doing is you're clogging your body up. So the plant, remember, can take rocks and turn it into minerals, but we can't. So what I do is I take plant minerals and or different things that are already broken down, so my body can just take them up because they have to be in ion or colloid form. So you think of a rock as big as my hand. Well, if the plant's doing and the soil's doing what it's supposed to, the plant takes its minerals from what's in the soil, right? Okay. Now, if that's the case, then if the plant has really good minerals in the soil and everything's healthy and you're getting the right water, then the plant becomes vital. It stays nutrified, it stays healthy, it grows, it flowers, it fruits, it does all its things. Now let's change this over to the body, the machine. The machine's made out of 18 gallons of liquid, saltwater liquid to be exact. This machine, remember, needs to be hydrated. Number one disease on the planet, you've heard me before, is what? Dehydration. So, this is 1 day of dehydration, and look at this plant hanging. Okay? This plant used to be up like this. It was saying hello to the sun, instead of right now, you can see all of its leaves too. They're all drooping. Look at this one right here. Droop, droop. Look, everything's drooped over. This is only 1 day without hydration. Now, we went on a hike the other day. It was an 8-mile barefoot hike. I suggest everybody start getting into grounding their body at least once a week, getting out on the nature trail. And you know, we didn't bring our water with us, and it was super hot that day. And let me tell you, talk about dehydrated. After 1 day of me not having that much water, and I drank a lot of water before I went, but I didn't bring any with me because I didn't want to travel. I was so feeling headache. I felt just worked. Okay, look at the plant. The plant's worked. This is a week after. Remember, this plant a week ago, we did the experiment, it dried up. It just sort of went down to nothing. And This is a week later here, and you can see it's still wanting to come. We watered this thing every 3 days, and it still doesn't want to come back. So if you think that after you haven't had water for 10 or 15 or 20 years, you think your body, just because you started hydrating yourself, is going to get hydration? No, it takes a long time to reprogram your body to start absorbing water. Remember, when it gets dry, it gets sticky. Sticky. Body is a liquid. If it's not getting the right liquids, and I'm not saying this is the only liquid, but this is one of my favorite liquids I put in my body. The thing's got everything in it. B vitamins, especially B12, 3 monoamine oxidase inhibitors. It has several different minerals, all different types of amino acids, and things that would actually call this not water, but this is super prism water. Watch one of our other videos, how to make blue-green algae. Very simple. Now, just to tie this whole piece up, we're going to talk about many videos, and each one has its own special segment. Remember, the last one was a little light, a little life. You do need light. Your body, of course, needs to transform itself so it can take more light. So don't just think you're going to go take your clothes off and go lay in the sun for 2 hours, because your body's not used to it, and plus it will burn if you don't take the precautions by taking things off your skin and making sure that you're just laying in the sun and not everybody that's laying on your skin is laying with you, because burning is only a cause of a lot of things that live on our skin. So you can't get sun, just like the petals on this plant. We live in the desert, and you can see how they're dirty. I'm going to wipe off one side here. These are full of dust. Okay? And this is full of dust, all the plants. And so if this has dust on it, you can see how the plant's solar panel, just like if we get a lot of creatures on our skin. So I clean my skin, I come lay out in the sun, and that was what the last video was about. I try to drink the amount of minerals. Remember, the plants need 15 minerals, sunlight, and water. We do the same. We needed over 80 minerals. 80. Not just 3 that you get at the store. Remember, 3 minerals, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. I go over these things over and over again just because you have to see it from another angle. These plants will grow beautifully with 3 minerals. Okay, we're not eating them. But if you do eat the plants with 3 minerals, that's all you get. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. But there are 80 minerals in the seed. There's lots of minerals that we need in our bodies to be able to make it function. Minerals make us so we can function. Remember, they make the glands. That's why I like to drink this water. I drink about 2 of these a day, and I mix this with also red hibiscus flower water, and I also drink pure alkaline water that I drink too, with a variety of very simple liquids, like my tea in the morning, and that's my liquiditarian. And I have my 1 meal a day at night, and these plants usually get a meal, remember, every 3 days. They get water and minerals. So it's not good just like the plant. I could water this plant every day, and I'm going to drown it. It's not supposed to have all that water. So there is a balance, you'll see. Find out what your balance is. There is enough sun that you need, depending on what species you are, red eye, white skin. Definitely you have less of a, more of a sensitivity than a person that has dark skin. Everybody, remember, needs to be able to see that there is optimal ways to run your life. And so each department we're talking about has its own virtues. The sun has its own virtues. Water has its own virtues. This is a plant that has not been starved, and you can see it's beautiful. What kind of plant is this? Well, it's celery. Look at celery, and this is celery seed. And the celery seed, as you can see, is very prolific, especially if you let the celery grow. So this plant never got dehydrated. It always got its minerals, but if I took away the water, as if I took away the water from my body for a few days, remember, 3 days no water, and most likely you perish. About 3 minutes no air, and 30 days no food. So it's super important. We're not going to go without water unless there's a catastrophe, but let me tell you, we're actually taking only minimal amounts of water so our body gets sticky. Every year, think about if you only dehydrated yourself just 5%, and that means that you didn't get your 130, 40, 50 ounces of liquid a day, depending on if you live in the heat and you live in the dry or you live in the moisture. There's lots of variables here. I try to drink about 140 ounces of liquid a day. Now, if you really see the truth here, you'll see that you need to balance and figure out how this is going to work in your world. And I can tell you this, by increasing your liquids, by increasing your sun, Remember, there are different things we're going to share with you on how we do this, but it's very simple. Increasing your mineral load, increasing your exercise, very important. We'll have lots of videos on that. And different departments of, like booby traps, like water. Remember, #1 disease on the planet, dehydration, so fix that. Easy. I hope you sort of grasp this parable, and the parable is very simple. A little water, a little growth. A lot of water, fantastic vital growth. And all it takes is this fantastic vital growth. Let's say I've been taking care of myself and everything else, no matter what. Remember, one day I was in the sun with hardly any water, and I was whooped. I went to bed at 7:30. I still had a headache no matter how much water. My body got dry. It got dehydrated. So, drinking your liquids and fluids is one of the easiest ways to get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise. We'll see you next time.